AI is not intimidating when you know what it actually is. It's just a conversation partner. It's like having a free business partner that comes to your house every single day and is available whenever you want to talk to it. It's not a replacement. Like I said before, it's not a monster that's coming into your life. It's a tool that God has dropped into your hands at exactly the moment that you need it now in midlife to create the amazing business that will set up your future. So you don't have to learn everything. You just have to start somewhere. And the story that you're carrying, the wisdom, the mess, the calling that keeps tugging at your heart, even when life gets loud, AI is not going to replace that. It can only help you share it better, faster, and in more places. Girl, if life handed you a plot twist, a divorce, a layoff, an empty nest, or you're just ready to reinvent your life and write the best chapter yet, you're in the right place. It's not a midlife crisis, it's a calling. Hey, I'm Lori Ann, Christian AI business coach, single mom of 2 miracle babies, and the woman who rebuilt her entire life from her mom's living room floor while homeschooling my kids, working full-time, and earning my MFA in creative writing. And I built a 6-figure business doing all of it by the grace of God. We're putting God first, family second, and AI third. And God, He is never late. Hey girl, and welcome back to the Midlife Comeback Club podcast. I'm so glad you're here today. New episodes are dropping still every Monday and Thursday. So if you have not subscribed yet, please do, because that way you will always know when I drop a new episode. You will get a notification so you won't miss a thing. All right, I need to ask you something today. Have you noticed that no matter where you turn lately, if it's Instagram, Facebook, the news, your coworkers' conversations at the dinner table, somebody is talking about AI. And if you're anything like the women that I work with in my coaching practice, your reaction has been somewhere between mildly curious about it and also mildly panicked. Like they're saying, okay, I hear you, but is this actually for me? Or is this for the 26-year-old tech bro in a hoodie somewhere who drinks Red Bull for breakfast? Some of the women think that. But I'm telling you, girl, this is for you. And today, I want to give you the most honest, most human, most faith-grounded introduction to AI tools that you have ever heard. Okay? No jargon, no over-your-head talk about AI, no hype, no the robots are going to be taking over kind of energy, because we've all been scared of that too. I just want to give you the truth right now about what these tools actually are and why God may have dropped this right into your life at exactly this moment. And the 3 things that I wish someone had told me before I spent 3 weeks convinced that I was too old, too behind, and I was never going to be able to figure any of this AI stuff out. So stay with me, because what I'm about to share might just change everything for you, including your life. But before we get into it, I want to take a second to mention something. If you haven't heard me talk about it before, I'm talking about it now. So if you've been quietly wondering whether there is a real pathway for a woman like you in midlife with a story, a faith, and a calling that you can't quite shake, you want to build an actual online coaching business using AI on the back end, you are in the right place. Because the Midlife Comeback Club is a faith-powered coaching community built specifically for women like you, midlife Christian women who are done waiting and they are ready to rebuild not only their lives, but they want to build an online coaching business. And inside the club lives my 6-phase new program called Called to Coach, Built to Break Free, where I walk you through building a complete AI-powered coaching business in just 90 minutes a day. That's all I need. 5 days a week, 90 minutes a day to build the foundation of your business for 90 days. Lots of 90s in there. But I'm telling you, it's amazing, because I built this program specifically for women like you that don't have a lot of time, but really have this big dream and vision to have financial freedom in their future when they're thinking about retirement and what they're going to be doing in this next phase of life. This is the perfect opportunity right now. The wait list is live, and I want you to be on it before the doors open, okay? So go grab it. The link's in the show notes, but it's loriannfeely.com/waitlist. LORIANN, F as in Frank, EELEY.com/waitlist. midlife.com/waitlist and jump on it because I'm going to be offering VIP founding member pricing only for this first group of women who jump in with me and an awesome amount of bonuses just for you guys. So please check it out. And I definitely want you to be a part of it. And if you get on the wait list, you'll find out more details about exactly when the live masterclass is going to be towards the end of the month. We're in June now already. Can't believe it. And I want you to be in for the live free masterclass that I'm kicking off the launch with. All right, let's talk about AI today. This episode is really going to dig in to a lot of the fear I think that you as midlife women have. So let me tell you what I hear almost every single week from the women who are in my world. They say, Lorianne, I know AI is a big deal, but I'm not a tech person. I tried Chat GPT once and I had no idea what to type, so I just forgot about it. Or they say things like, I feel like everybody else already knows how to do this. They all know about AI agents and they're all talking this jargon that I have no clue what it means. And I'm already so far behind, so why should I even bother? Or they say, I'm 52 and I feel like this stuff was designed for somebody that's half my age. And I hear you because those fears are real. And I know what it feels like to kind of start dabbling in it and feel like you don't have a clue as to what AI is or how to use it properly. But here's the thing. That story that you're telling yourself, the one that says AI is for the younger women or the younger generations, the more tech savvy women who already have the business or women who didn't spend the last decade pouring themselves into a marriage or career or family or corporate job that quietly decided it didn't need them anymore. And that could be you, right? That you've done all those things and you're wondering, how in the world am I going to pick up all this AI stuff now? But that story is not true. It's just not. And I say that not to really lecture you, but I say that because I was sitting exactly where you're sitting. I know what it feels like to look at something new and just feel immediately behind because I did too a couple years ago, to feel like by the time I figure this out, everyone else will have already lapped around me twice. But here's what I also know. You are not a beginner at life. That's what makes you different. You're a midlife woman, okay? And a lot of you are probably Gen X. And one thing I know about our generation is we've always had to figure stuff out, and we're really good at it, especially as women. We didn't grow up with computers. I mean, we had to figure this out just to get where you are right now listening to this podcast. So if you can figure a computer out and how to use it over all these years, you can definitely figure out AI. I'm telling you. You're just a beginner at this one single little tool. And those are two very different things. You're not a beginner at life. You're just a beginner at using AI, and you can catch on so quickly. So the problem was never that you weren't smart enough or young enough or tech enough. The problem is that I feel like nobody ever sat down with you and said, here's what this actually is. Okay. Here's what it actually does. And here's how a woman, a real woman in real life, who might be homeschooling her kids or her kids have flown the nest. She's home now. She's drinking her coffee in the morning. She's out at the beach. She's doing her thing. Or she got laid off from her career job that she's had for several decades. And now she's thinking, what's next? But this is how you can use AI to build something so meaningful. I mean, you could build right now the most meaningful business you've ever built in your entire life because of AI. So that's what we're talking about today. I want to tell you something about a season in my life where, if you haven't heard the story before, where I had basically nothing. And I mean, basically nothing except my two wonderful, beautiful children that I have. I was a single mom. We had our dog, and I was sleeping on my mom's living room floor. There was no income. I was unemployed. There was no future plan. I had no idea what was coming next for my future. And if you had walked up to me in that moment and told me that in a few years, as I'm almost pushing 50 at this point, that I was going to build a 6-figure business on the side and have like one of the top podcasts ranked globally and have a coaching program that I built that helps other midlife women rebuild their lives using AI, I would have thought you were absolutely crazy. I mean, I would have laughed or possibly cried, Probably both, because from that floor, nothing looked possible for me. I saw no light in that tunnel at all for a very long time. But here's what I learned. God doesn't show you the whole staircase. Unfortunately, right? For us, we want to see the whole deal. He just asks us to take the next step, and he'll light that path right there. Just let you see that next step, but he's not going to light everything that comes after it. And sometimes that next step is actually learning a new tool like AI. Not because it's glamorous, not because it's trendy, but because he actually decided to put it in your hands exactly at this moment in time. How cool is that? Because God will tend to do that. I always say God is never late. And here he is dropping this in your lap. And there's a verse I come back to over and over again when fear tries to talk me out of something new. It's 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Read that again. God has not given us a spirit of fear. So if you're feeling fear right now about AI, about being too old, too behind, too late, too not techie enough, I want you to know something. That fear didn't come from God. I know that because he gave you power and he gave you love and he gave you the sound mind. And a sound mind can absolutely learn how to have a conversation with a tool like AI, a sound mind that has navigated much harder things than a chat interface. I mean, girl, you've survived things that would have broken most people. I know you women out there that are listening to me. I hear your stories and I'm like, my goodness, if they can do that, they can definitely do this. You can definitely learn AI and use it as a tool to make your life so much easier and so much more empowering for you to do what it is God is calling you to do. You can figure out how to type a question in a text box. I know you can. And more than that, like I've said before, I don't even want you typing anymore. And we look at it like Gen X women as being lazy. No, God gave the tool. Let's use it because you can get your work done much faster when you're speaking. And we know how to talk, right? We can do that really well. I want you to voice to text. Start getting used to doing it. It'll take you maybe a week and you'll be like, man, how did I ever type before? It's so much faster. And there's this one, Ephesians 2:10. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Good works prepared in advance. Before any algorithm existed, right? Before there was any tech company that was founded, before AI was even a concept, God had already prepared the good works he has for you to do. So that means that your calling you were given is not in competition with AI. No, your calling was written before AI was ever even a thought or invented. AI is just one of the tools that God has placed along the path to help you walk your calling out. And that's the posture that I really want to bring to this conversation. Not fear, not pressure, just plain old curiosity and faith. Okay, so let's get practical. I want to give you 3 things today, 3 honest, simple truths about AI tools that will take you from feeling, I think, intimidated about it to really ready to jump in and start using it on a daily basis. All right, so are you ready? Let's go. Number 1, AI is not magic and it's not a monster. It's a conversation partner. I want you to start thinking about it like that. Because here's what most people get wrong about AI. They treat it like it's a search engine and they'll look things up on there instead of Google, right? They type in a quick question and they get a really strange answer. And then they close the tab feeling like they did something wrong or they don't know how to use it correctly. But that's not how it works, okay? So I want you to think of AI, and specifically Claude right now is what I'm using, which is the tool that I use and teach in my program. And right now, I feel like that's the best large language model, or LLM, to use at the moment. Now, that could change. The race is still going on with AI. We don't know who's going to win the race and who's going to come out on top, and those seasons might shift. But the idea is to always have all of you in one place. I like to think of it like a suitcase. You're going to build a suitcase in my program that actually you can pick up and you can take to whatever LLM you want to use, because we don't know what's going to be the next best thing. But right now, if you're building an online coaching business, I recommend to all my students to use Claude, because that's really got some nuance that I think is really important right now in the coaching industry. And I just want you to think of it really as like a capable assistant who knows a lot of things and is genuinely trying to help you. That's cool, right? We want something to actually genuinely help us. And the better you get at talking to it, the better it gets at helping you. That's it. That's the whole secret. Isn't that crazy? I mean, I feel like people talk about all of this jargon and they get really confusing, and they talk about how you got to connect this and the AI agent does this, and then you got to go over to this tool and this tool, and it gets so overwhelming. I know, because I've listened to lots of YouTube videos and lots of podcasts and lots of things, and everyone else is just figuring it out like we all are, because it's moving so fast. But if you really boil it down, I think that's the whole secret, is learning how to communicate. And I don't know about you, but I think I know you very well by now. I know who you are out there. And midlife women really know how to talk well. We know how to communicate, right? So it's not about being tech savvy. It's actually just about being willing to have a conversation. And girl, you've been having conversations your entire life. You raised kids. You've navigated careers. You've managed relationships. You know how to communicate with a human who doesn't always understand exactly what you mean at first. And then you'll correct yourself and try to, there goes my dog again. Every time I get on this to record, he starts scratching the rug. It's crazy. But hang on one second. There you go. That's better. We're keeping it real. But AI is just like that, but it's faster. And the cool part is it never gets tired. So I use it every single day to write my content, to plan out my week, to draft my emails, to outline my podcast episodes. I use it to brainstorm coaching frameworks. And then I utilize my own nuances and think, oh yeah, that would be really cool to stick with this. And the list is just endless. But none of it requires a tech degree, because remember, I'm your non-techie girl here. It just required me to be willing to try it out. And so I want you to ask yourself this, okay? What is one thing that I do every week that takes so much longer than it should? And could I try describing it to an AI and asking for help? I want you to start there. So just think of one thing that is so repetitive. You're like, oh, I have to do this again. Whether that's something in your household you might be doing if you don't have a business yet, or if you do have a coaching business that you're trying to run, one thing that you keep doing over and over again, you think, this is just taking me forever. There's got to be a better way. So that's your next step there. Okay, so number 2, you don't need to learn all the tools. You just need to learn the tool. So here is where I see women getting completely overwhelmed with this whole AI thing. They Google best AI tools, and suddenly there are 47 different options like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, a new one came out, blah, 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 and 100 more. And then they just freeze and they go into research mode, which, let's be honest, is just more socially acceptable form of procrastination, which I've been there. I do it. And I try to catch myself when I get started on that. But they never actually start anything because they're too busy researching which tool they need to use. So does any of this sound familiar? But here's the honest guide part of today's episode, okay? You don't need 47 tools. You just need one. And it doesn't really matter which one that is. Like I said, I'm using Claude right now because I feel like it's got really great nuances that align with building an online coaching business. So that's one I recommend. But like I said, there's all these other LLMs that you can choose to use. Just pick one. And they're free. You don't even have to get the paid plan yet if you don't want to. But in my program and my own business, I do use Claude. It's made by Anthropic. And it is, in my completely biased and already well-researched opinion, it's the best conversational AI tool available for the coaching industry and for content creation and business building. So that's why I use it. Because I think it thinks in nuance, which I like, and it writes with warmth, and it captures my voice exactly from my transcripts and my stories and all of the things that I've given it. And it clearly communicates how I would be saying it exactly if I were writing it myself, only it does it even better. And when you teach it who you are, which is a whole module in my program, and honestly, it's my favorite one that I've ever built because it really starts to sound like you and you only. It's not a robot. It's not generic. It's just you. But even if you just want to start with ChatGPT, because if you heard of it and it feels familiar, because that's the first one you use, that's perfectly fine. That's cool. Just start there. Okay. The tool matters less than the actual habit of doing this. So pick one, open it, try something. Just type something. No, don't type. I want you to voice to text. Okay. See what happens. The question I want you to sit with is, what have I been putting off starting because I can't decide which tool is the right one? Think of that and just go ahead and start. Just start talking to your robot, as we call it, right? Because the right tool is the one that you actually open. That's it. If you want to figure out which one's the right one, that's what I tell my women. I say, because the right tool is the one that you actually open. And that's the one. Number 3, AI doesn't replace what God put inside of you. It just amplifies it. And this is the one that I feel most strongly about. And I'm going to be direct with you because there is a fear underneath all of that. I'm not tech savvy stuff, or I don't feel like AI can ever be like me. And yes, that's true. It is a robot. But the fear is, if AI can do what I do, then what am I actually worth? Right? I think that's a lot of what women are feeling right now, because I am hearing it out there every day. And it kind of breaks my heart a little because it's such a misunderstanding of what this tool actually is. Because AI is never going to replace your story. That's one thing it can't do. Only you have your story. And it can't replace the 30 years of lived wisdom that you're carrying around inside your brain and your body. It's not going to replace the moment a woman on the other side of the screen actually reads something that you wrote, and through her tears at midnight in her car in a parking lot somewhere, and she starts thinking, wow, she gets it. She gets me. She's been where I am. AI is not going to do that. You do that. And what AI does is handle the parts of business that have been quietly bearing you. You might not even realize that it's bearing you, but there are parts of your business that you're just drowning in the mundane tasks or trying to figure stuff out that you shouldn't even be spending time figuring out, because AI, once you set up the workflow, can do it. And you don't have to be figuring this stuff out and spending your days pulling your hair out trying to figure out how to do something. I give you the pathway in the program so you can just let it fly. You build the foundation. Yes, it's going to take a little work, 90 minutes a day, but I know you've got that. And once you build it, it goes. And we're not revisiting the same workflow all the time, thinking about every week how you have to start from scratch again and figure out what you're going to post for the week and figure out how you're going to onboard this client or figure out how you're going to get on this podcast and who you followed up with and who you didn't, or I got to email this person back. I mean, the list is endless, right? When you're trying to run a business. And if you haven't started your business yet, these are the things you'll be dealing with. So why don't we just get it right from the beginning? Because now, even other courses that are out there, I know because I've taken a lot of phenomenal courses out there that are amazing and have gotten me big transformations in my personal life and my business life. But the thing is, they were built 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even a year ago. And everything has changed this year. We're in 2026 and the world is different, whether you want to admit it or not. And you don't need to spend a lot of the time that you had to spend before getting to your final destination in some of these courses that you can do within 90 minutes now. So that's why I built this, because I found myself struggling with, why can't I just do it this way instead of spending hours on worksheets and getting to the end of my week, watching a lot of videos and then figuring out that I hadn't really accomplished what I needed as an end result from that module, because I didn't even get to the final product of creating what it said I could create. because I was going back and forth with things that now with AI, we don't have to do that anymore. Back then, yeah, we did. And that was the only way to do it and the only way to teach it. But now it's so different and we can get there so much faster in an easier fashion. And that's the idea of revolutions of technology. And we're in it now. So that's why I wanted to create this to make it a lot simpler. And not only that, but once you create it and build this foundation for your business within 90 days, then you continue to get me for the entire year. And I'll be there every week on weekly live group coaching calls to answer any questions that you have about all the things that you've built so that you can really get your business up and running in the correct way. And then you can just fly, girl. I mean, it's amazing if you set this up the right way, how much simpler your life can be. And you can get to that financial freedom so much faster. So I get super excited about it. But anyway, back on track. What AI does is it'll handle just the parts of the business that have been quietly burying you, right? It's the emails that you haven't sent because you didn't know how to word them. It's the content you haven't posted because you spent 3 hours writing one caption and then you just deleted it before you were going to post it. It's the systems that never really get built because you ran out of time and energy to even have the time to sit down and work on all the stuff that was going to take you endless hours. AI handles that. So you can do what only you can do now and focus on being you and your wisdom and your creativity, all the great things that God has put inside of you. So we're putting God first. I know a lot of people are saying AI first companies and all this, but I feel like that's not really the correct order. In order to build this correctly, I feel like you need God first. And for me, family second. I think that's huge. There was one thing I wanted to be a really present mom in my kids' life. I didn't want to be putting them last on my list and putting all the business stuff first. And so that has been quite the balancing act as a single divorced mom. And I have found a way to do that, to be putting them ahead of my business, even with running all of this stuff on my own, working full time and doing this on the side and, homeschooling my kids. And I had to make it work because I didn't have a choice. I had to figure it out. And now that I've figured it out, I can't wait to share it with you because it's going to make your life so much simpler too. So I say we put God first, family second, and AI third. But it's a tool in service of a calling. It's not going to be a replacement for one. So ask yourself this: what God-given story, skill, or gift have I been sitting on that AI could actually help me finally share with the world? Because that's the real question. That's why I built everything I built. And that's why I believe that this is your moment to do so. So don't miss it. Here's what I want you to walk away with today. AI is not intimidating when you know what it actually is. It's just a conversation partner. It's like having a free business partner that comes to your house every single day and is available whenever you want to talk to it. It's not a replacement. Like I said before, it's not a monster that's coming into your life. It's a tool that God has dropped into your hands at exactly the moment that you need it now in midlife to create the amazing business that will set up your future. So you don't have to learn everything. You just have to start somewhere. And the story that you're carrying, the wisdom, the mess, the calling that keeps tugging at your heart, even when life gets loud, AI is not going to replace that. It can only help you share it better, faster, and in more places. So you're not disqualified from your future anymore, just because the future looks a lot different maybe than you expected in midlife. I know a lot of you have gone through some incredibly difficult seasons, and now you're thinking, wow, where is my life going to go now? What does my future look like? And this is that moment to really reflect and think, how are you going to live out the next 20, 30, 40 years, right? You've got to think about your financial future, your financial freedom. And like I like to say, your full life freedom that you want with everything, with God, your family, your finances, your business, all of these things that you want to balance in your life, right? And this is the perfect opportunity to do so now that we have AI. And God always makes a way in the wilderness. That's what I know from experience. It's his specialty. And he's not going to do that new thing in your life and then leave you without the tools to walk you through it. So you're not too late. You're right on time. And God is never late. And girl, neither are you. So if this episode stirred something inside of you, and I really hope that it did, I want to tell you what I've been building for you. The Midlife Comeback Club is a faith powered coaching community designed for the woman who is done waiting and ready to rebuild her life on a personal level and with a business. The woman who has a story, a calling, and just 90 minutes a day to build the foundation 5 days a week for 90 days. That's enough. I promise you. That's all you need. And inside the club, you get access to Called to Coach, Built to Break Free, which is my brand new 6-phase program that walks you through building a complete AI powered coaching business from the ground up. If you haven't started your business yet, now's the time. If you currently have an online coaching business, this is going to rework all of your workflows so they are AI powered. And once you build them, they're going to run forever, and you can tweak them as you go if you'd like, or you can leave them as is. But they're going to help offload so many mundane tasks that you have been doing that you don't need to do anymore in this AI era. So we're talking about everything in there. We're going to start with phase 1, which is the foundation, where you build your niche from your comeback story. You're going to set up your AI command center, like I like to call it, and get your weekly rhythm really locked in. We're going to actually have your productivity schedule, your weeks mapped out like seamlessly using AI, because the problem is not confidence. I'm telling you, some of you are like, I'm not confident enough to start my own business. It's really the infrastructure that you have to put in place. Phase 3, we go deep into AI systems, including my favorite module in the entire program where you teach AI who you are before you even ask it to do a thing. That's the secret. That's the thing that makes everything sound like you and not some robot. And you also get the live weekly group coaching calls with me where we work through any roadblocks you have together, because there's a massive difference between watching a video and some modules and actually having somebody in your corner. I constructed the entire program so that you walk away every time you sit down at your computer with a 90-minute window. You're actually walking away with something built. We're not talking about filling out worksheets and watching endless videos and going through countless modules. They're there, short video, and then you get the practical way. And now this is how we build it. I walk you through that. But faith-powered AI systems is my full method for building an actual automated, sustainable business that runs on your God-given story, and AI systems that will actually handle the back end while you get to focus on what you do best, which is coaching. And a community of women, it's the best part, who get it. These midlife women who are also rebuilding not only their businesses, but they're rebuilding their lives, and they're answering the call that God has given them, which is so awesome. And they're also doing the scary, beautiful, sacred work of figuring out who they are and what they're building in this next season. So you don't have to do it alone. You were never meant to. So right now I want you to jump on the wait list. It's live for Called to Coach, Built to Break Free. It's down in the show notes. It's loriannfeely.com/waitlist. LORIANN, F as in Frank, EELEY/waitlist. And get your name on the list right now. I don't want you to miss it because I'm giving VIP founding member pricing. This will be the only time it's available at this price. So I want you to jump in. It will not be available after I launch this first time, because so many of you have been excited about it and interested in jumping in. It's only going to be offered at this price for this first round. And not only that, but I'm also giving you ladies amazing bonuses too. So for those of you who decide to jump in the first round. And while you're at it, if you're still not sure what kind of coaching business you're actually called to build, I've got something new for you too. I want you to take the brand new Calling Clarity quiz that I created down in the show notes too. It's loriannfeely.com/calling quiz. So you can take that too and get a jump start on my entire program to find out where you feel God is calling you to coach. It takes about 3 minutes, and it will help you clarify the specific calling that you feel God is stirring inside of you, so that when doors open, you're ready to just walk through them right away. All right. So both links are in the show notes. Please go grab them. And truly, if this episode helped you see AI differently, you're a little less scared, you believe things are more possible now and more you with AI, will you share it with just one woman in your life who might need to hear it? You probably know exactly who she is, the one who keeps saying, I keep hearing about AI, but I don't even know where to start. Send this to her today, okay? It might be that nudge that changes everything for her. And girl, let me leave you with this. The tool is not the miracle. It's the vehicle to get you to your final destination that you want, which is full life freedom. And the miracle is that you're still here. You're still faithful. You're still reaching toward that thing that God has put inside of you before the world really got loud. And AI just helps you build that runway because you've always had the wings and it just helps you fly, which is so amazing. So until next time, keep putting God first, your family second, and trust that the system is coming. And I will catch you back here for the next episode. Thanks so much for listening. Hey girl, I hope today's episode gave you a little faith, a little fire, and maybe even a next step you didn't have when you pressed play. So if it did, would you take 30 seconds and share it with one woman in your life who needs to hear this right now? And if this podcast has been speaking to your heart, I would absolutely love it if you leave me a quick review over on Apple Podcasts. It helps this show reach more midlife women just like you who are ready to start building the life God actually designed them for. So until next time, keep choosing faith over fear, and don't you dare give up on your next chapter. I'll see you back here really soon.